Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Weekly for Saturday, October the 30th, 2021. That's right, we're back. It's the weekend of Halloween, so boo. I'm not wearing orange, just black, but hey, it's festive. Is it Halloween everywhere? Is that international? I think by the handful of international viewers I have can probably clue me in on that. Anyway, got a little bit of a different show today. We will be continuing on with our virtual strip walk, making our way through the Mirage and Treasure Island today. So that should be interesting. But we have a number of we used to call them sort of housekeeping things that I want to cover a little bit today. And we'll get to those very shortly. Did want to thank everybody for the positive feedback from this week's Wednesday show. I just got back yesterday evening from my trip up to Nebraska to visit Mom, and we included some shots of that trip. Actually, the shots of that trip were the Wednesday show this week, so I'm glad that you all enjoyed that. We do have a couple more clips that we're going to incorporate into this week's Wednesday show, but it was kind of a fun thing to do. You even get to see Mom, so check it out if you haven't. Been kind of a busy couple of weeks in the Vegas tips and tricks world of social media, etc., etc. So I wanted to go through and cover some of those things in detail. At one time, if you're a longtime viewer of the show, you'll remember that every single week we had a link to all of the social media connected to myself and to Vegas tips and tricks. We've not done that very much over the last couple of years. I do want to point out that some of those things have changed. For the last, I would say 4 or 5 years or so, 3-4 years or so at least, probably I want to say around 3 years, we have had a website that was simply VegasTipsTricks.com. And on that site, at least for the first year and a half or so, we had a pretty good up-to-date list of some tips about traveling to Vegas, what to do when you get there, where to stay, where to eat, just things like that. Kind of the same sorts of things we typically would cover on the show. And that website is no longer active. So if you've been a regular visitor to VegasTipsTricks.com, it's not there anymore. Sadly, with all of the changes that came about through COVID, some of the new hotels and venues that have opened up and others that have closed up. The website had not been updated significantly in basically a good year and a half. So, and it became sort of prohibitive to continue to host the website when it really was no longer a significant part of what we're doing here on the show. Much like the much bemoaned Vegas Tips and Tricks store, there is always the possibility of a new, improved, different sort of website that could come at some point in the future. But I did want to let you know that if you visited that site and it's not there, that's why. So, on a positive note, and most of you who are subscribers to this channel or who watch this channel on a regular basis, and if so, why are you not subscribed? Anyway, are aware of the fact that we have a Facebook group. If you are in, on, or around the Facebook universe, we'd certainly encourage you to join us. Did want to mention the fact that we hit another milestone this week, and the milestones have been coming rather hot and heavy. I don't know if that's the right term to use here, but we hit over 50,000 members on Monday. We're now over 51,000 members and growing. The best I can tell, we're in the top 6 or 7 Vegas groups on Facebook that focus on Las Vegas and visiting Las Vegas, although we do have some locals as well that are involved. So if you're on Facebook and you're not in the Facebook group, we'd encourage you to join. I will put a link. This is going to be a theme. I will put a link to the Facebook group in the show notes below so you can join us on there. Also, we have a pretty active Twitter account. And by pretty active, I mean there's usually something new up there every day, sometimes multiple things. We have a lot of fun people, Vegas people that we interact with there on a pretty regular basis. Beyond that, generally we look for news items or just something Vegas related that seems interesting or fun or informative, and typically retweet a lot of those things. Primarily on the Twitter account, I follow other accounts that are likely to bring that kind of information, whether it be casinos or other vloggers or news outlets or just individuals that have a history of scooping information about Las Vegas. So that's what we do over there. We have over 3,000, over 3,100 followers there on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter and you're not following us over there, once again, I will put a link to the Twitter account in the show notes below, and we'd encourage you to drop by. If you're a tweeter, if you're not a tweeter, then much like if you're not a Facebook person, then it's not a big deal. We also have an Instagram account that is very shaky as far as activity. I think we have about 1,000 followers on there. So it's not super active. Once in a while, we'll post a photograph there. I do have some stills from the last trip that I'll probably get around to posting up there at some point, but there is an Instagram, and so once again, we'll put a link to the Instagram in the show notes below. Finally, and most recently, there is a Vegas Tips and Tricks TikTok. Yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed about it too, and once you see the videos, you will be embarrassed by them, but it is kind of fun entertainment, and there was some fun little clips that we did on the September trip. Some of them got incorporated into some of the vlogs, but some of them stand alone. And so from time to time, when I feel inspired to share something meaningless, I figure that TikTok is the way to do just that. So if you're on TikTok and you want to follow us, for some reason the little videos on there get lots of views. I guess it's just a lot of people with nothing to do. But when we are in Vegas, we will try to utilize TikTok to provide some fun little glimpses of what's going on, and we may try to utilize that a little bit more for for little short Vegas tips from time to time. There's a crazy idea. We are going to be creating a short intro to Vegas Weekly, which we have had intros to Vegas Weekly over the years, and we sort of got rid of it a few weeks back. But we're going to create sort of a short intro. I don't know how much sort of musical stuff's going to be involved. Maybe we'll bring back the old Vegas Tips and Tricks theme song, but we will be doing something with that going forward, just to kind of catch some people's eyes. It's not going to be like minutes long or anything, thankfully. All right, back to our weekly segment that I like to call the Virtual Strip Walk. And if you recall last week, after finding our way through the amazing maze that is Caesar's Palace and the Forum Shops, we had found ourselves deposited on the sidewalk right in front of the Forum Shops, there on the very famous Las Vegas Strip. Now, we were a little bit disoriented until we kind of turned around and saw that right there was an entrance to the also iconic, also world famous Mirage Hotel and Casino. Opened up in 1989, so it's 32 years old. I'm not sure exactly when it opened. A lot of casinos open in October, so maybe, it's around this time of year. I haven't seen anything there, but you might as well go ahead and go inside. You will not enter from that entrance, will not be your registration and that sort of thing, but will just be a long entrance past some shops and restaurants. There's a Starbucks, that sort of thing. And you can make your way into the casino proper, look around. It's a nice property. I mean, there's no question it's been well maintained over the years. The rooms themselves are quite pleasant, though the base rooms do have fairly small bathrooms, and that is a consistent, I don't know necessarily whether I should say complaint, but a concern that many people have. I've had it. If you sort of bump up to the next level room, there's like a resort room or something, those rooms do have larger bathrooms. But the rooms themselves are nice. The casino itself also is nice. And again, you have some beautiful sort of iconic things at the Mirage, including the entrance on the other side where you have the atrium with all of the tropical plants, and you're meant to feel like you're entering a rainforest. Also, right there by the registration area, you have a massive aquarium behind where you check in with numerous mini fishies from all around the world. Well, ones that can survive in that particular mix of fluids, but in any case. And the casino itself does have a bit of a low profile. What I mean by that is, a lot of older casinos, the ceilings are a bit low. And the newer properties typically have much higher ceilings. The Mirage still, in fairly large parts of the casino, has pretty low ceilings. So it does feel a little bit older in places. But still, again, a very nice property. Lots of restaurants and bars and such of a good quality there, and a good place to stay. And definitely a place you want to check out for just the beauty of the property itself. And of course, the one and only volcano out front. If you happen to be at the Mirage around the time that in the evenings when the volcano goes off, you might want to make your way out the front door by the registration area, which is on the other end of the property, and head out to the sidewalk and check that out. From there, you can make your way all the way down to Treasure Island. I don't recommend that. It's a much longer walk than you might think it is. It's not particularly interesting. And instead, you could ride what feels like kind of a little Disneyland sort of ride that would take you over there, as there is a it went down for a while. They got it fixed up again, then it went down for the COVID thing. Now it's back again. The little tram that runs from the registration area just outside the door there at the Mirage to the back of Treasure Island. So it's a fairly short trip. The tram seems to come and go pretty quickly. It does end sometime in the late evenings. So if you're out really late, it won't help you. But for the average person, and again, it's kind of fun. It's not this sort of high-tech monorail. It does feel like you're riding a ride suitable for a 6-year-old. And that will take you to the back of the Treasure Island property, kind of near where their parking garage is, and some shops and restaurants, coffee shops, that kind of thing at the back of that property. Treasure Island was for years known for the big pirate battle out front. That hasn't been there for a long time. There's some residue. You can see what was the lagoon and the ships, but there's no show there anymore. In fact, like most Vegas properties that started out with a heavily themed resort, the theme has kind of been diminished over the years. And in lieu of a pirate battle, you now have a Senior Frogs and a CBS out front. And I'm pretty sure there's a Starbucks too. Treasure Island is a decent property. It's typically a pretty reasonably priced option if you want to stay there. The rooms are in, I would say, good condition, not great. They could probably use a touch up again, but good luck. We'll see when that happens. The casino itself is starting to feel a bit run down. It has definitely become a mid to lower level casino. It does seem to be more of a working class kind of crowd that hangs out there. They're well known for their little TV ads that promise no resort fees and 2-for-1 shows and buffets and that kind of thing. Well, it wouldn't be a buffet. Their buffet is closed permanently. In addition to the now non-existent pirate show, they do have an Avengers exhibit on site, which I've not taken in, but I'm thinking might be entertaining if you're a fan of the Marvel Comics universe or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And there is also there the very first of the Cirque shows in Las Vegas, Mystere. So those are a couple options if you're wanting to check out Treasure Island. Otherwise, again, it's become kind of just a nondescript, generic Las Vegas casino. There you go. And that kind of ends the sort of long run of casinos that we find along Las Vegas Boulevard. But we're going to continue our trip to the north next week as we check out the Fashion Show Mall and we make our way to Resorts World. All right, thanks for joining us today. Again, check out those social media links and join us there if you care to do so. And before we leave, I want to send it over to my friend Kathy for a brief announcement.
Greetings all, Kath Grant Spooky Peg here. It's that festive time of the year, and I'm calling upon you all to do the right thing. You need to like, comment and subscribe to Vegas Tips and Tricks. All that work John puts in every week, all for free, you lucky, lucky people. But just remember, at Christmas, there's a naughty list for Santa. And guess what? At Halloween, there's one for Satan, and I'm in charge. So, unless you want my little friend to come and visit you in the wee small hours, I suggest that you appreciate the hard work that goes into this program. You like, you comment, and you subscribe. Otherwise, you could be next. Happy Halloween, everyone. Keep it spooky.
Well, you heard the woman. I have no control over what's going on in the nether regions. But yeah, we'd encourage you, if you enjoyed today's video, to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back next Saturday with another episode of Vegas Weekly. Until then, hope that you have a great, lucky, and healthy week. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.